Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into the official theoretical driving handbook for Saudi Arabia. So whether you're a brand new driver or maybe you just want a quick refresher, we're going to break down the key ideas that will help you become a safer, more confident driver. So let's jump right in.
The handbook kicks things off with this line, and wow, it's a powerful one. Now, this isn't here to scare you, but it's really about setting the tone. It's a reminder that what we do behind the wheel matters a lot. The stakes are incredibly high, and knowing the rules is the very first step toward keeping everyone safe. And that really leads us to the big idea behind the whole handbook. See, driving isn't something you're just entitled to. The manual describes it as a privilege, and that privilege comes with some very serious responsibility. This way of thinking is really the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. So, how do we actually live up to that big responsibility? Well, the answer is something called defensive driving. And this is so much more than just following the speed limit. It's an active mindset. It's about constantly scanning the road, anticipating what other drivers might do, and being ready for the unexpected. It's all about protecting not just yourself, but everyone around you. Okay, let's start getting into the practical stuff. A huge piece of defensive driving is just understanding the language of the road. And what does that mean? It means knowing your traffic signs. Think about it. These signs are talking to you nonstop, giving you critical information, so you've got to know their language. Luckily, the handbook breaks them down into 4 really simple groups. First, you've got warning signs. They're basically giving you a heads up about a potential hazard, like a sharp curve. Then there are regulatory signs. Now, these aren't suggestions, they're the law, things like speed limits. Guide signs are your friends. They help you get where you're going. And finally, those bright orange work area signs. When you see those, you know you need to slow way down and be extra careful. All right, let's talk about one of the most challenging places to be as a driver, the intersection. I mean, this is where everything comes together, right? Cars, pedestrians, all moving in different directions. It's no surprise that this is where a lot of accidents happen, so knowing the rules here is absolutely crucial. A roundabout is a perfect example. So on the left, you see the theory, the clean diagram from the book. And on the right, that's what it looks like in the real world. You can totally see how those rules and arrows from the diagram translate directly to the actual flow of traffic. It really shows how understanding the theory prepares you for reality. And if there's one thing you remember about roundabouts, let it be this, the golden rule. You always give way to vehicles already inside the roundabout. They have the right of way, period. You wait for them. It's that simple. Okay, let's take that same idea of clear rules and apply it to another common situation, making a U-turn. Super useful when you've missed a turn, right? But you got to do it legally and safely. And that means following a very specific process. And here's that 3-step process. Step 1, and this is the big one, look for a sign that says no U-turn. If you see it, that's it, game over, find another route. Step 2, if there's no sign, the responsibility is all on you. You have to be sure the way is completely clear. Cars in front, cars behind, pedestrians, everything. And step 3 is just common sense. Don't even start to make that turn until you are 100% certain it's safe to go. All of this brings us to an even bigger point. It's so easy to feel like you're in your own little bubble when you're driving, but you're not. You're part of this huge moving ecosystem. And the handbook has a great name for this, cooperative behavior. It's basically all about how to play well with others on the road. So who are these others? I mean, really think about it. When you're driving, who are you sharing all that space with? Because it's definitely not just other cars like yours. You're sharing the road with pedestrians. And as the handbook points out, they are the most vulnerable people out there, hands down. They have zero protection, and a moment of distraction from a driver can be absolutely devastating. You're also out there with buses. You've got to give them a wide berth. They're big, they make frequent stops, sometimes pretty suddenly, and they need a ton of room to turn. The best advice? Just back off a bit and give them their space. And you are for sure sharing the road with heavy trucks. Now, the number one rule here is to be aware of their huge blind spots. If you can't see the driver and their side mirror, you have to assume they cannot see you. And remember, they take a much longer time to stop. So please, never ever cut in front of a truck. So, all this cooperative behavior really boils down to 2 simple but really important principles. First, drive safely. That means you're rested, you're focused, you're mentally and physically ready to be in control of a car. And second, drive with respect. That means you're actively paying attention and honoring the right of every other person on the road to be there safely. So now let's pull it all together. We've talked about signs, intersections, sharing the road, but really, All of these are just pieces of a bigger puzzle. They are the building blocks for the one thing that truly matters most, creating a permanent defensive driving mindset. There's a line in the handbook that I think just nails this whole idea. It says, "It is not enough just to feel safe, you must stay alert." Think about that for a second. When you feel safe, that's when you can get complacent and let your guard down. But being alert, that's an active choice you make every second. Safety isn't passive, it's something you actively create. And in the end, that's the real goal here. Learning all this isn't just about passing a test. It's about accepting your personal responsibility, your active role in making the roads in the kingdom safe for your family, for your community, and for every single person you share the road with. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. After everything we've just covered, what's the one single habit you're going to focus on, starting right now, to put these ideas into practice and become that safer, more responsible driver? Really give it some thought. Thanks for joining me today.